4, 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to the Vegan Steven podcast. Vegan Steven is a fictional character. All characters and events in this show, even those based on real people, are entirely fictional. All celebrity voices are impersonated poorly. The following program contains coarse language, and due to its content, it should not be viewed by anyone. This is the Vegan Steven podcast, supporting positive mental health. It's for vegans and everyone. So, there you are. Your one-stop shop for waffles with an Irish accent. Alright, so there's this whole social distancing thing, eh? Seems like a right load of cock. Nah, it's very important, isn't it? It's very important. It's very important. Just, it's just a bit annoying, isn't it? Walking around the old shopping centres today, everyone's on top of each other, absolutely jammers. They queued into the shops, it's meant to be fucking 2 meters or some shit. And, everyone trying their best and all, but in a queue, everyone's trying to get ahead and... look, just... You wouldn't want to have a fear of someone coughing on you, I guess, if you go into the shops. So we're going to have a little look at Hong Kong. Hong Kong's having a shite time right now. Shite crack. China's really being the school bully, if you will. And it's... Hong Kong is like the love child of communism and capitalism. So it's great for making money, and it's great for repressing people ish. I don't know. It's a really good tourist place, kind of. So now I know some of you might not recognise me. I lost my hat. So look, right. This is what's going on. We're gonna have a chat about Hong Kong. Zodiac Killer. Zodiac Killer, what a man. Zodiac Killer. The Zodiac Killer loved fucking killing people. He used the sign of the Zodiac as his symbol, and he sent he'd kill someone or whatever. He was one of those serial killers, and he was killing people, and then he was sending letters to the newspapers being like, here's how to find me, just fucking decode this cipher, and it would be homemade passwords, and a lot of them they're not sure whether he did it right or if he just did it arseways, because a lot of them just didn't. I'm looking at a cat taking a shit right now. It's actually pretty good. It dug a hole. It's taking a shit in the hole. Sorry for that information, but I've never seen really a cat take a shit in the wild before. Jesus, it's very sophisticated. Do you ever look at a dog when they're taking a shit? They look so embarrassed, and they like to multitask as well. Like, I can bark and sniff in the wind. Cats are just amazing. Like they do their deed. And then they dig a hole, do their deed, and then they scrape over it. I just think that's fucking brilliant. How good are cats like? Dogs try to scrape over their shit, but they're never that bothered. They kind of do their dirt, take care of their business, and then they give it 2 scrapes, and they're like, right, I did my bit. Whereas cats take the time to cover their shit. And if you like talking about cats taking dumps, you can tune into this podcast every single day. It's available on iTunes and everything. So Zodiac Killer. My favourite film is I'm fascinated by serial killers because I'm just so impressed how, because the way if someone kills their husband or something, they're fucking straight away locked up. And but some of these lads, they narrowly escape capture for years, and it's just fascinating. The idea of humans hunting other humans is just fucking wild, absolutely crazy. But yeah, I must have. I don't want to be I have a bit of a hard on for this lad. He murdered 5 known victims, so he kept it light. The Zodiac Killer, or simply Zodiac, is pseudonym. That's Psedomm. I can't even spell that. Pseud. It's Pseudonym. That's pseudonym of an unidentified American serial killer. How good is this? He was never fucking caught, man. And he didn't just like go for one spree, and he did like one every fucking 3 years or something. Absolutely brilliant. I might be a serial killer fanboy. Zodiac Killer, or simply the Zodiac, an unidentified American serial killer who operated in North Carolina from at least the late 1960s to the early 1970s. It was an absolute mental case. He loved, I think one of the first murders he did, he went up to a couple kissing, like in a fucking teenagers makeout spot or whatever, just fucking shot the two of them. And there was loads of times he was nearly caught, like, but the police kept saying, like, we're looking for a black man, and they'd walk past the Zodiac Killer, and but it's so funny because there was nothing ever said that he was a black man. For some reason they just fucking assumed he was, or some shit. So he narrowly escaped capture many times. There's countless drawings of him, and loads of people think they know who he is and all this stuff, but it's never been proven. And there's all these like people like, oh yeah, my dad's the Zodiac Killer. Like, so many people came forward and they'd be on the news going, hey, my dad's Zodiac Killer. Turns out they're not fucking Zodiac Killer. So yeah, I think he had a gun, and he'd go up, do a bit of shooting or whatever, and then he'd wear a mask saying Zodiac. Oh, what a fucking amateur. I don't know. He used to wear basically a sack over his head, and he just had the Zodiac symbol, and he had a pistol or something. And he did something wild, like I think there were sometimes he used to like claimed to have killed 37 people, but it was only proved that he killed fucking 5 and injured 2. Yeah, fucking hell. It's the reason he got away with it is because he didn't kill anyone he knew. Like, he just fucking went to the park, and he seemed to go after couples a little bit. And then there was a lot of fake, just so many people coming forward who weren't the Zodiac Killer, just pretending to be him. And then there was copycat killers and all sorts of fucking, yeah. So there's interviews with suspects, but there's countless fucking suspects. But yeah, I think it's fucking hilarious though, because he needed glasses to see. So he used to put on this big fucking bag over his head with the Zodiac fucking killer thing. Like, it's like a superhero, but he's a killer or something. So if he wanted to, fucking kill someone or something, he had to go into his fucking anti-superhero uniform. He looks like a fucking tard. I don't think you're allowed to say retard on the radio. A lot of people get very annoyed. But he looks fucking comically bad. And no one caught him. I've seen a big Egypt walking around with a fucking bag over his head. But yeah, he wanted, like a lot of killers, to claim responsibility for the murders, just because it's like, oh well, I did this. A lot of them want to have fucking shit lives where no one appreciates them and shit, and they just want to prove themselves to the world, or just all that messing. But yeah, the Zodiac Killer, or simply Zodiac, that's the same thing, pardon me, it's the old Wikipedia. Yeah, absolutely crazy. So he would be 80 years old right now, and 2017, 83, and 30. He was around 30 when he did the murders. Even if he did plead guilty, still living, he's most likely an LG man now, and it's not likely that he poses any kind of real threat to the public. So yeah, he could be dead forever. He could not be. He did absolutely wild shit. Like, he'd take like fucking years off and then fucking strike again. A lot of people think it was because he had kids and stuff, and he was just like wanted to fucking. There's normally a stressor in these situations, like the fucking wife leaves them or something like that, but when they're busy with family and stuff, tend to not go on killing sprees. They're just like too fucking busy. It's absolutely wild, just absolutely wild. But yeah, he used to send these. It's like a crossword puzzle. He used to send them to the. Used to send crossword puzzles to the newspaper, and they'd be big fucking. He'd say like fucking publish this or fucking people are gonna die and all that mess. He got published, and I think some retired teachers or a teacher couple fucking cracked some of them and things. It was just like crosswords, so he must have loved crosswords. But yeah, like I said, he had fucking glasses, and he wore the glasses over the bag. I don't know. It's just a bit funny. And he had such a ridiculous, like, bad superhuman, super and all that shit. Excuse me. I shot a man sitting in a parked car with 38. So yeah, he'd come forward and just go, listen, he'd have the details, and then he would go, there's one of his letters here, it said, fucking, oh, I did it or whatever, and then he would say, Jesus, it says, the map coupled with this code will tell you where the bomb is set. You have until next fall to dig it up. And then you'd have like some kind of weird ass crossword, but it was so fucking funny because as I said, the crosswords were just fucking wrong, and they didn't know whether he was just fucking awful at making his own crosswords, or if there was a typo, or if he's just fucking with the media, because they never fucking caught him. Now I think there was a case of a different serial killer called the BDSM serial killer, and some serial killers are being found recently, and it's all down to, it's absolutely wild. Have you ever heard of this thing where you spit in a little test tube and you send it off to a lab to find out your origins of birth? Like, is your toe from Argentina and your other little toes from France and your middle toes from fucking Jamaica and all this fucking wild shit, and you're fucking half donkey on your mom's side or whatever. So you spit in this little jar, you send it off to the lab, and they come back and go, listen, here's fucking a load of things, your ancestors' DNA or whatever, okay? So, what's a bit, if I'm going to be a little bit paranoid, like all that fucking files of your DNA goes on record, which is absolutely wild, with your name, your fucking phone number, address. So they get this information, you pay them, you spit in the fucking thing, you pay them fucking 20 or whatever it is to tell you your identity, but they keep your DNA on file. And I don't know if they sell that information. Banks and stuff are known for selling on your information, like your phone number, your thing, and all that stuff. Because I don't know, bank managers and stuff. Now, not in all countries, just I think it's in some bank managers in Ireland do it, and it's very gross. Anyway, we won't get into that. But what I'm trying to say is, if I could stick to reality for one moment, is that this BDSM killer, his niece or something, his fucking grandchild, someone related to him, spit in one of these jars, and it came up, bing, this person is related to the BDSM killer. He was a BDSM. It's something like to do with bondage, strangulation. What would M be? Mutilate or something? I can't remember what BDSM is. Or I don't know. But yeah, how they tend to catch these guys at the moment. Ted Cruz might be the Zodiac Killer. So there's loads of like kind of funny things about, oh, is this the Zodiac Killer? Is this? So I think for some reason BTK Killer Dennis Rader seems to be getting some of the blame for the Zodiac killings. Now I could just be misreading this because I don't really have a whole lot of time in my hands, but there's been countless people who are like, yeah, this is definitely him, and so there's this lad named BTK. What's that? Bondage. I can't fucking remember what BTK stands for. But this lad used to go around killing people in all different fucking methods so that no one could trace him because they just thought he was different random killers. The very successful serial killers tend to change their techniques to avoid getting catched. Generally, the ones that get caught are ones who kill anyone they know. They're fucking caught straight away. Or else, if they leave like a calling card, like they're like, oh, I'm gonna fucking, I don't know, paint their arm red or something, paint their arm pink, I don't know. Then they're like, they can track down to the movements and all this stuff. But this particular, sorry, what's this BTK stand for? BTK Strangler gave him BTK taunting letters, newspapers describing details of his crimes. Yeah, the BTK killer, he just send letters to the fucking police and just be like, I did this, I did that, I'm gonna fucking do other things. So there's an absolute yearning for it, because a lot of these lads have not so much very low self-worth, but they feel kind of like society owes them a favour, and that society, that life didn't turn out the way they wanted it, and they want to get revenge and all this stuff. So yeah, like I said, they tend to, the ones that don't get caught, they plan in advance, they don't do it spontaneous killings, they do a lot of research in advance. Generally, the ones who are like impulsive killers, they tend to just be fucking stupid, and they're the guys who just fucking, I don't know, kill a random lad in the street or something. Yeah, I don't know. Or have emotion to it. Anyway, victims 10. Okay. BTK Strangler. Alright. The police have an awful lot of trouble with copycats. So, you know, Zodiac Killer would send in a cipher, and then there's someone like, oh yeah, I'd love to do that, and then they end up doing the cipher, maybe killing someone, and fucking trying to link themselves to the BTK Killer and all this wild shit. Yeah, there's a need for like recognition of, some of them see it as like a fucking art form and all this stuff. It's just fucking wild. BTK Killer had, you know, he's a kinky man. He used to oh shit, he was an ex-cop. That's crazy. Or was he? He used to strangle himself on the back of door handles, and I think he dressed up as a woman. I think as far as I know, he dressed up in women's clothes and strangled himself off door handles, because he kind of liked the fear of getting caught, and he used to play with himself, if you know what I mean, while strangling himself and dressing up in women's clothes. Well, he had a family and kids and all that. You know, he was who knows, maybe he was mad ashamed and mad confused about who he was, or I don't know, it's hard to know what's going on. But it's not so interesting about the spitting in the jar, and that's how they caught the BTK killer, because there's like, fuck, this woman who just, you know, spat in this test is related to, has the same DNA that, oh Jesus, so he used to masturbate on ropes, Jesus, dressed in women's clothing, including women's underwear that he had stolen, and he used to fap off to it while binding himself around the arms and neck. For years, during a cooling off period between murders, he would take pictures of himself wearing women's clothes and a female mask while bound. He would later admit he was pretending to be his victims as part of a sexual fantasy. He kept his sexual proclivities well hidden. However, he was widely regarded in his community as normal, polite, and well-mannered. Yeah, it's mad when you kind of repress all your fucking natural urges to fit in with society and stuff. Sometimes all these things have to come out somewhere. Instead of telling people, you know, fuck off, get the fuck away from me, all bottles up and you end up going postal. Maybe not. There's loads of stories of serial killers. They couldn't kill the person they wanted to kill, so they kept killing, like for example, Ed Kemper really wanted to kill his mother, and he couldn't because I don't know, it was his mother or something. So he used to go around killing other women that, like, I don't know if they reminded him of his mother or what, but he was a very angry man, and he was mistreated growing up, and for some reason he associated that with women. So he didn't like women. Well, he didn't like females having, you know, control or dominance of him. Because he was, yeah. I talked about it in my Ed Kemper podcast. But yeah, spitting in fucking jars, absolutely wild. Let's see now. So someone found DNA under one of the fucking at the scene of the crime anyway, and oh shit, sorry. He wasn't actually caught by the DNA, sorry. He was, it's absolutely hilarious. He was having, this is BTK Killer, I was mixing up him with a different one there, sorry. He was having, let's see, sorry. Police had a strong evidence that Rader, but needed more direct evidence. They obtained a warrant for a DNA test of a pap smear. Reggae's daughter had taken the Kansas State Medical Clinic. She was a student there. The DNA on the pap smear was processed by the Kansas Bureau of Investigation in the lab. So is that his daughter, is it? Sorry? Yeah, his daughter, okay. Indicated that the killer was closely related to Ringer's daughter. That was evidence for the police needed to make an arrest. So yeah, it's so fucking interesting. One of the things that they were talking to, he kept staying in contact with the fucking police, and there's this little tag on whatever computer you use, it's in the metadata or whatever. So he was writing a letter to the fucking police on a floppy disk, and he said some kind of had a gentleman's agreement with them that they wouldn't try to find out where he was or something like that. He said, like, promise you won't try and find me or something. I don't know. Anyway, what happened was there was some metadata on it which showed that he was actually a high up member in Christ Lutheran Church, Lutheran Church. It's so good. It's so funny. So the document had been made on a computer owned by the something church. It's so funny, and they just fucking googled it, and he was the president of the church council. Isn't that mad? President of the home, absolutely wild. But yeah, he did stuff like break into women's houses and steal their underwear, which I think after everything I say, I just feel the need to say, which is fine. I'm not sure if serial killers who dress up in females' underwear is a minority group. Alright, I won't get into that. Gonna get myself in more trouble. Get the podcast cancelled, man. Motive sexual sadism. So yeah, there you are. This is absolutely wild. But yeah, Zodiac Killer. So I'm mixing up the Zodiac Killer, BTK Killer. Man, that's wild, isn't it? Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay, here we go. Quiet in the back there. We got some brass. You're making me insecure. No one is like that. A sick culture. Keep your product, I'm not inferior. There's always an excuse to smoke. I drink to the poverty, wealth divide. The ads abuse my heart choking till I follow and buy. Built-in obsolescence coming, pushing insurance, I've had it. You close-minded prick, you're dragging us down. Televisions brainwashing us down. Ethics will make you broke, as if they were a selfish hope. The fool's butt is on my throat. I'll kick and scream until I buy. There's a man in every woman and a woman in every man. The religions hate the women, so traditions have to die first. Built-in obsolescence coming, pushing insurance, I've had it. You close-minded prick, you're dragging us down. The televisions brainwashing us down. Product propaganda, it goes nag, nag, nag. 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 You close-minded prick, you're dragging us down. Television everyone's just fucking heads wrecked, man. Is your head wrecked? Just everywhere you go. COVID-19. Do this, don't do that. Do this, don't do that. Government says this, be careful now. Which, yeah, it's all very good. And we all know it has to be done. But, it's mad annoying, isn't it? It's mad annoying. Is this working yet? Yeah, just fucking... The supermarket would wreck your head, lads. The supermarket would. Yeah, no hope of social distancing in the supermarket, but... Sure, listen, we tried. We tried, didn't we? We gave it our best. Alright, let's get back into... Let's stop fucking around. Let's get back into some shit. So yeah, 2 of my favourite serial killers. Oh yeah, that's definitely an awkward conversation. Just going, yeah, I'm actually really into serial killers, and people at the table like, oh Jesus. Oh, I'm a big fan. Right, so here's the news. A load of people died from coronavirus. Grand. Next, some TD says be scared of coronavirus. Brilliant. Anything else? Okay, cool. And let's see, loss to taste and smell to be added to the list of COVID-19 symptoms. Man, I heard that fucking months ago. Anyway, sorry. I guess it was a rumour. Just, you know, you're talking to someone and you go, oh geez, what's COVID-19 like? And they're like, cannot taste a thing. Weeks after. But anyway, sure, everyone's different, isn't that right? Taxpayers may have had their personal details accessed by fraudsters, revenue says. Surprise! Alright, grand. And nobody on the pandemic payment is living it up, says finance minister. So yeah. I just have enough to get by the best, I guess. Oh shit! Nissan workers. So there's countless, factories been shut down and all the rest of it. So the workers of Nissan were burning tires at the gate of the factory after closure was announced. So obviously they're fucking pissed off that their employer for years just fucked off, because, well, they had to, didn't they? Because no money, no jobs. Jesus Christ. That's a lot of fucking smoke. Man, that must be fucking highly illegal, burning tires. But anyway, I'm sure firing your staff at a second's notice is also highly illegal. Anyway, who knows? Who knows? Jesus Christ, that is a serious amount of Nissan workers. That's like that's an insane amount of people. Yeah. Alright, so here's any comments. Kieran says, could they not find some other way to protest rather than releasing toxins into the atmosphere? And FFS, I don't know what that means. Still haven't figured it out. Fiona says, yes, all things, why burn tires? That's like tear gas in your own area. Oh, Jesus. Feeling slightly less sorry for them after that move. What a mess, says Wayne. COVID-19 is great for long-term labour costs of multinationals. COVID-19 is great for long-term labour costs of multinationals. Alright, don't quite get that one, but we're going to keep moving. And Oracle says your value to an employer is controlled by the employee development, a skill that people are willing to pay more for. And you will not only earn more, you will be less vulnerable to companies looking for cheaper labour. And then Carlin says, that sounds like a PR statement from IBEC. Lol. Derek says, no mention of them moving the production to England would go against the old anti-Brexit narrative. And Aidan says, post-Brexit, they'll get away with paying low wages and contracts without benefits. When the recession happened, everyone was on fucking rolling contracts every fucking 3 months, being put back on probation. It's fucking stressful as fuck, like. Anyway, there's still loads of mad shit going on, like people being forced to register as self-employed so that they get fucked over by the tax stuff rather than the company. And sure, listen, just, you know yourself, if you're a fucking member of staff, your employer doesn't give a fuck about you. And if you think they do, just look at Nissan and everyone else. Hopefully you'll remember this lesson. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just, at the end of the day, you get your paycheck for the day and that's it. Just don't be expecting anything else. Just make sure you get enough paid that you'll be happy with, because otherwise that's all you're getting. Like, you're getting the pay for that day, that's it. Anyway, who knows? Funny that we are told that Brexit would be a result in Nissan relocating its southern production to the EU. Instead, it's relocating EU production to Sutherland. Also, FT has reported Renault will relocate production to capture Kada models, and yeah, sure, loads of companies like fucking, what's that Virgin Media? Oh, they're so annoying, man. They moved their fucking phone lines to India, which is grand, or as maybe it's Philippines, but they're like a company who are meant to specialize in phone communication, but you can't understand a fucking thing when you call up for social. Fucking, the phone line quality is horrific, and the fucking accent is just, you know, fucking, you just can't fucking understand what the fuck's going on. Serious communication difficulties, to put it fucking mild, from a telecommunications company. And every business does that. I'm not having to go at Virgin Media. I'm having to go at, every company does it to relocate costs. Even in betting companies, they lay off Irish staff to move to call centres in Romania, not because it improves the quality by any bit, just because keeps costs down, keeps ups profit margins, keeps investors happy, which is their only legal obligation, that and following the law. And this is all allegedly. So there you are, fair play. They must have been sick and tired. We have a little pun there. I see what you did there, says Wandy. I wonder if anything to do with this political uncertainty is due to Catalan Suppressant movement. That's Catalan suppressant, SUPARATIST, suppressist movement. Antis, good to see the protest. If I was in Ireland, we'd be moaning on the bar stool. Wait, on our patios. Alright. Destruction is not a protest, says Fabio. Well, it made the news, unlike fucking every other protest that's going on. So I think they did very well. Because, alright. Anyway, there will be 3,000 job losses, with 20,000 families expected to be affected by Spain's Catalan region. So, 14, yeah, okay. Businesses move all the time. Fucking Ford moved. Fucking when car companies move, the fucking infrastructure gone, just takes a hit, because there'd be villages and people buying gas just relying on getting money off their Nissan job or whatever it is. But there you are. Bum 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 bum. Matt Damon photograph leaving Ireland. So he kept fucking popping up in Dalkey. But yeah, he's gone home, so alright, good luck to him. Alright, here we go. A decent guy on all accounts, says some lad. Where's the photograph, says some lad. And Transome Black Ops team would have incepted it. Haha, says another lad. And so he's departed. So that must be a joke. Stop using my name. Alright. Okay, cool. So let's see if there's any updates on Hong Kong. Hong Kong 2 meter rule makes reopening schools in September difficult, says some lad. Bum bum bum. 3 politicians ejected from Hong Kong chamber aimed China anthem debate. One of the politicians was forcibly carried out of the legislative chamber. Okay, there's only one comment on this from the last 11 hours, so there's definitely some serious censoring going on. But we'll have a little look. What does this one comment say? It says, concrete willies for them, so. Okay. Right. So he's a pro-democracy politician now. Yeah, it's mad. Just, I guess if you have the money, do what you want, isn't that right? Is this working? Achoo! Okay. Another crack going on here. Yeah, so I think it's today, is it? The law is coming on the 28th to help China. If you meet up with some mates and start talking about capitalism, you can go missing or whatever. There's been loads of reports of protesters being arrested and just dying accidentally in prison, which is absolutely outrageous. Can you imagine getting away with that, like wherever you live? That's something else. Hong Kong, eh? Hong Kong, Matt Damon. Okay, here we go. So there's still a lot of passengers from airlines waiting for refunds since March. So, yeah. I don't know if they're going to claim bankruptcy or what they're doing, but or if they're waiting for a bailout. Sure, we'll see. Oh, for fuck's sake. More fucking. The annoying thing, like, I know I'm just giving out here at this stage, but there's all these ridiculous rules coming in, over the top paranoid rules. And the thing is, when COVID-19 goes away or forgotten about in 2 years' time, the rules are gonna stay there. So, which is just fucking annoying, just slowly being strangled. So now the latest crack is you have to say where you're staying at the airport. When you land the airport and go, right, where are you staying? You have to say where you're staying, and if you lie or whatever, they charge you 2,500 or 6 months in jail. So there you are. That's to scare the living shit out of you, man. What is up with law enforcement just going, yeah, well, fucking 2,500 seems like a nice random number. It's like, none of these things are up for vote. They're just going, this is fucking new law. Who cares if it directly violates the Constitution and so on. Anyway, listen, I'm just having a rant. Who gives a fuck? Kieran Farley. Not going to make a bit of difference. Should be tested at departure. Airport, not destination. Emirates can do it in 10 minutes. Why can't everyone else? Man, Emirates have done horrific things, violations to fucking their staff. Like, if you come out with having depression, you get fired on the spot. They measure your waistline. If you get put on too much weight, you get fired on the spot. They just are known for not giving a flip about their staff. That, and also there's been a lot of accusations of anti-women behaviour, but listen, these are all just rumours you hear on the street. Who knows if any of them are true? It's a disgrace. We have to let all those foreigners with coronavirus come on holidays here without tests and walk. Foreigners! Rah. Empty streets and stand outside. Our closed pubs, closed on holidays, parks spreading disease to our people. Some lad says, if we could agree, only burn foreigners plenty were staying, also home flying from Cheltenham weren't checked. So some lads living in the past here, about 10 weeks late, but still good short-term move. Oh man, that's such a big fine. Oh man. What's the most fucking disgusting thing ever is the government having track and trace. You have to like have some bullshit app in your phone that traces all your fucking movements. It's been branded to us as beneficial because you can see if you came in contact with someone with coronavirus. But does anyone else see the fucking other side of that? Like, all your movements being traced. Like, to be honest, I'd just be staying in the gaff anyway and doing fuck all. But it's just like, lads, you're not just chill the fuck out and let me be a human by myself, like, for fucking 5 minutes. Just laws. This is why the news is. Anyway, that's enough of that. ESRI warns against austerity measures in short term as economy heals from the pandemic. Alright. Yeah, lovely jubbly. And also, a giant of a man, influential AIDS campaigner, playwright Larry Kemmer died at age 84. Man, how great is the AIDS medication, man? It presses the pause button on AIDS and you don't have to die from it anymore. I know I'm not using the right language there, but it's just so fucking class, like. Imagine everyone's fucking terrified of catching AIDS just because, you know, you can't see it. It's like unknown. It's like coronavirus. Like you don't know who has it, and it fucking plays havoc on your mind. Bum bum bum. Fucking hell. Alrighty-o. I had more cabin crew from different companies to be laid off. All that stuff, yeah. I don't know. I love giving out. Oh, social welfare office. Must be have something to do with ESRI. It's all new to me. Alright, so here's what Agenda 21 has to say. How can you insist austerity on a country when they are already living in it since the last crash, yet being fed by RTE etc. that we are booming again for the last 8 years? For the top 1%, what they failed to mention, you could get blood out of a stone, but you can get a river of blood from the top 1%. Oh god. Sorry, you can't get blood from the stone. An ED responds saying, you ain't seen nothing yet. Peter Hughes says there will be a massive price to pay for lockdown. If you think we cannot end up like the Greeks again, massive defects on lend to pain you can only imagine. The bottom line is credit was already maxed out before. We were borrowing heavily to keep the public service pay and pensions bill paid. Oh fuck. Jesus. Doesn't sound good. Which, may I add, totally out of control and growing by every year. And they will want to raise this year. It's all going to end very badly in the future if we don't tackle this behaviour once and for all. Grand. Okie doke. More socialism for the rich then, but austerity for the working people. Funny that, says Nikki. And Ross says, the rainy day fund hasn't even been seen yet. That's a couple of billion. Also, one thing, return to normal, people of the walks can return to work. Of all walks of life. Hopefully under caretaker government, stealth taxes. Stealth taxes, that's one nice term. And others won't be forced on the usual. But things return to normal. It's time for another election. What's actually mad is that I read the news an odd bit for the podcast, but I'm fairly clueless as regards most things. So someone was just going on, geez, do you know we don't have a government right now? And I was like, oh my god, we don't have a fucking government. Seems like something that people should have, especially during the pandemic, but apparently we don't have it. We're in between governments or something. Alright, so here we go. We're gonna get some lovely little facts in. We only have 7 minutes left, so just gonna tighten up, get some little facts on the Zodiac Killer, okay? Because I don't want to leave this unfinished or whatever. Okay, so 1960s to 1970s, he did taunting letters to the Bay Area, cryptograms, ciphers, kind of like crosswords. So he targeted young couples and 2 men surviving attempts. He also murdered a male cab driver. After that one, he was people tried. He walked past a cop or something. He wasn't stopped because they were looking for a black man. The Zodiac himself once claimed to have murdered 37 victims. Suspects have been named by law enforcement and amateur investigators, but no conclusive evidence surfaced. So the case has been reopened since 1969. It's fucking crazy. Confirmed murders. Okay, grand. Just want to see if he's been caught or anything mad like that. There's an absolute one of my like I said, the whole thing that started me talking about all this stuff is my favorite film, Zodiac Killer. It's not even that it's a particularly good film. It's just like the fucking Zodiac Killer is such a fascinating story. Like, I don't know how they'd fuck it up, but I know it's very brilliant. But at the end, you're kind of like, come on, they didn't figure out who he was. Like, come on, like. So the letters start off with stuff like, "Dear editor, I am the murderer of these teenagers," and so on. And then it has a list of stuff to say who he was, like 10 shots fired, brand name of the ammo was Super X, and just loads of stuff that kind of identify him, prove it was him. So we'd have a list of stuff to go, listen, I am this person, because here's a lot of details that weren't released to the public, and I'm going to fuck with you a little bit by anyway. Alright, here we go. So Zodiac Killer, and let's have a little look at BTK. BTK is bind, torture, kill. So he's an absolute chancer. I don't think it was this guy who used to put broken glass in their eyes so you could see the reflection of himself in their eyes. I think that was a different lad. He used to smash mirrors. Oh, fucking wild. Anyway, I don't think that was him. The problem is, he kept his sexual prerogatives well hidden. However, he is widely regarded as community normal. Yeah, lovely. Murder's grand cold case. Legal proceedings is absolutely wild. I was watching the interview with him. Do you know you have to go in court and you're like, I did all this mad shit. I fucking did this, I did that. He was talking as if like he was talking about how he completed the jigsaw or something. Like he had no emotions at all. He was just like, yeah, 7 + 1 is 4, and when you get fucking 12 12s, you fucking equals 2 or something. Just he wasn't even as enthusiastic as that. He was just like, well, I did this and then I did that, and blah, blah. And the judge would be going, well, now what other things did you do and all this stuff, and he'd just be like, it'd be like asking a lad like just something really mundane and boring. Like he just really wasn't arsed, and he'd know like I don't know, maybe he was remorseful, he fucking knows. But oh my god, he used to I think, I don't know if it was him, he used to love suffocating people and bringing them back to life. It's mad. He's a big fan of the rope and the plastic bag. Yeah, so it's an old Strangler. Jesus. Absolutely wild. And there was people who survived the BTK Killer as well, because like these lads would make it just like any job. Like you'd make a royal fuck up with some of them, like, but it's just fucking wild. It's absolutely wild. So Dennis Rader, and he has 2 children. And what's wild is like the daughter was saying he was such a good father, It's like, fucking hell. What is life like? What is actual life? Alright. So Zodiac Killer, I don't know, if the thing, just a little warning for you guys, like I'm a big fan of staying up, and watching serial killers and like, oh, they did this and they did that, but just I don't, just it's very, very easy to get caught in a big depression downer when you're watching serial killer stuff all night, because you're like, oh fuck, this is really interesting, but there's so much negativity. I know this may be really obvious, but that negativity is highly contagious, and you're obviously not, well, you're not going to go out on a killing spree or anything, but it can really affect your mood and just be like, oh, everything's shit, and oh jeez. So I noticed only really in hindsight that the times that I got really into researching serial killers, my mental health, my inner happiness and stuff really took a beating. Like I'd just be like, oh, what's the point and all this stuff, and just so much negativity. It's like you can imagine how much negativity there is involved in killing humans. So do you know what's absolutely crazy, actually? The human nature, in that if you watch a film and you see someone being murdered or whatever, you'd be thinking, oh yeah, well, like whatever, because you're desensitized to it. But if you see like a little kitten being murdered or a puppy, you'd be heartbroken because you're not desensitized to it. It's mad. It's absolutely mad. Maybe everyone doesn't have it, but for some people, like, they're used to seeing war films or whatever, like people kind of die, like it's kind of like a bit make pretend or make believe, but it can really, I can hit you in a different spot when it's an animal. I don't know why. Maybe that's not everyone, but hey. Okay, so I'll leave it there. Thanks very much for joining. This is every single day, and this has been the BTK and Zodiac Killer. The gift that keeps giving back. Alright, so make sure you tick that subscribe button, and I'll see you again tomorrow. All the best. Goodbye.